allowed us to survive, right? So why are we not giving our sisters and our grandmas and our moms, why are we not giving them this recognition that they deserve, this recognition that has allowed us to be here today and gather in this space, right? So as we continue to talk about women in politics, you don't always have to think about who is the prime minister, who is a president, who is an MP, who is an MPP. Sometimes it's the woman that you lay beside at night. Sometimes it's the woman that you call to say, hey, how's your day going, mom? Sometimes it's the younger sister that you check in for. Sometimes it's the grandma or the great-grandma that you go to bring fruit or you go to bring food to, right? Those are your women in politics. So recognize them. Allow them to be leaders in your home, but also create spaces for them to be leaders outside of the home, because as I said, they have that resume. They have those skills, right? So again, as we're talking about women in politics, know that it already exists all around us. But we have to see women as people outside of the home. We have to see women as people outside of our direct communities, right? And that's where it starts. Once we start allowing ourselves to see and respect women as people, because unfortunately colonialism hasn't allowed that. But once we start doing that, we create spaces, we create opportunities for women to thrive in spaces outside of the home, because we are very much deserving of those spaces, just as anyone else is.
I said to you, this is a team you're going to run home with. Thank you, ladies. And one key word, if the women take the political stand, back there in the home front, at the workplace, in the society and in the community, you have a more peaceful and a more suitable environment. And that's the cause to injustice. We look at injustice against women. And today we're looking
at this world where we have to find a way to survive, right? And so usually that involves somebody leaving that home to go and find a way of survival, which is fair because we all have to do that, whether we like it or not. Sometimes two people leave, sometimes three people leave, but usually there's at least one person, one adult, maybe one elder who stays back. They stay home. And it's usually a woman, right? And what that woman does is she usually cares. She cares for the home, right? So she'll care for the food. She'll care for maybe what needs to be tidied around the house. She'll care for the children, right? In a lot of other cases, she also cares for the community, right? And so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, so if we all come from a home and we recognize that usually that person that has that care inside of our home is a woman, and then we leave our home and then we go out into society and we recognize that society also needs to be cared for, right? But then when we go back home, the person that's usually caring is usually a woman, and then when we go outside, the people who are caring are not women, right? But we all say things like, we need moms and grandmas and aunties to keep our structure, right? We need them to keep our home going. We need them to care for us and to care for our community, right? And so as a society, we give women this role inside the home that they do.
came from Africa due to genital mutilation for my girls, and the culture shock is just something when I think about, it gives me a lot of emotions. And behold, the first thing or the first way, as a banker coming from a banking background, I have taught my resumes, my qualifications as a master's degree holder. I would just go automatically into the banking system. But the dreams were transferred. And I had to take on a training. And this was the introductory. Oh, you're new to Canada. Your permit says a general job. And one of the best things you can do is to do the fears over you. I was like, really? And then I took up the course. Ordinarily, it's a trade or a line with a passion. The only thing I took out of the class was, come on, I'm an African woman. to be trained to do what I grew up to do in the household, well, you can't go anywhere without this certificate. And I wrote on that. Believe you me, we had a class with 3 sections, and each of the classes was 72 people. We have only 2 men. And what does that say to me? The African woman is already born into a community that has a natural personal support care for anybody, for any individual. Now you're done with the course, you're walking, you get to the floors, you're not going to see a black woman in the home. Yeah. I've always worked with majorly, Chinese, Canadians, name it. And there was a day I asked a lady, how old are you? She said 93. I'm your personal caregiver. She said, yeah, but I requested for, I think she said Pakistan or something. She wanted a language interpreter. And I said, but I can take good care of you. In the long run, she rejected me for my color. And no one, came up, nobody gave her a shower, the bath or whatever. And the director in charge of the nursing.
For various development agencies. Then my home country, the president of my home country, said, well, he said, you're out there helping everyone, but why don't you come and help us? So I went to Rwanda. And guess what? I was in charge of the economy. And one day, he asks me to manipulate statistics, to lie. Environmental statistics. I said, no. So before I knew it, I was a refugee again. I fled Rwanda to South Africa. He pursued on the internet. Came back here, spent a good time in the mental hospital, and that's the best experience I ever went through. And here I am, joining you to say, hey, look, the struggle of improving black lives is here. Is you, is you, is you, is you, is you. Blessings.
My name is David. I am born and raised in Uganda. Currently, Ottawa is the city I call home. I am a PhD candidate at the University of Ottawa. My work research is I work with the Ottawa Catholic School Board as part of their equity team. I look forward to enriching conversations with all of you and this panel of esteemed experts.
Thank you. And I had some questions, so let's see how they go. And I'm also hoping that we can build that into the other conversations that we've been having since morning. So I want to bring us back, we've been to Brazil today, gone to Senegal, to Nigeria, we've been across the continent. So I want to bring us back here to Canada, where we call home. And I want to kind of, when we measure intersectionality to understand everyday realities, as people of African descent, we continue to face ongoing systemic issues, including in housing, as mentioned earlier, education, healthcare, and the criminal justice system. So in this almost finished decade, what can we say have been done well and has worked to address these issues? and what is not working, and how can we do better?
Okay, so when you Sandy called me to participate in this, I first looked for census. What is the social income? So if you, I have to read now. So I have to share with you the statistics I found. Then later on, before we conclude, I want to play a song. Okay. So let me find you the statistics from census 2021. Okay, first of all, how many out black people in Canada, Ontario, and Toronto? We are 1.5 million people who identify themselves as black. Overwhelmingly targeting black kids is real. So what that means, our black learners, black youth, on the average, the white people, the average of earnings per year of white people in Canada is 42,000. But the average for the black person is 35,000. It's worse in youth. Among young employed population, the average earning for the white Canadian, the average unemployment rate in Canada, white population, is 15%. Oh, no, sorry, no, I got that wrong.
Thank you.